and general commercial. And that has developed over time. But if you've observed that, the main parking opportunities are inside the development, and it's not something that most Texas drivers are comfortable with when they drive into something and they don't know where the parking is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one part of it. And it's not a walkable corner as such, so you don't get a lot of walking traffic by there. So over time, you've seen, I think they said the average lease lasted about 18 months in some of those places. World of Beer was there for a long time. Frankly, I think they left because of corporate decisions, not necessarily local decisions. They do have some retail that they've incentivized on the front side in the barber shop and beauty shop area. But they came to us and said, look, the proof is in the pudding. We got a very vibrant city here, and we're still not able to rent this property out as retail. We want to convert it to residential and convert some of those areas to apartments for students.
So from a philosophical standpoint, again, that was another council that said these are the guidelines we want. Mm-hmm. This council looked at that and understood what the developer was saying. So from that standpoint, do you feel like the city has changed its philosophy when it comes to if a developer comes in that you don't have to have this on the first floor?
I don't think we changed our philosophy, except that I think we'll probably be more carefully considering what we're asking developers to do. Ground floor retail makes a lot of sense in some areas. Some areas just haven't developed the way we'd hoped they would. So I think making an adjustment over time. If you note the votes, it was unanimous on planning and zoning and unanimous on city council. Now, staff has to oppose that because it is a violation or a change in the comp plan, which they're not allowed to recommend unless they see some kind of error. In our case, we're looking at the market forces and believe that the developers, the owners now, really these are new owners, they weren't the ones that built the property, that they have a good argument to make. And I think that the lesson for us is to be careful about interfering in and trying to direct what the market is telling us. So don't be too active in trying to tell developers what to build where, other than the grand comprehensive plan and our zoning and all of that. But when you get down to individual PDDs, which is what that was, a planned development district, you got to let the market dictate a lot of that. And
you, as an economist, knows that.
Well, yeah, it's a market forces thing, and frankly, I have great faith in our planning and development people. I think they have great ideas. I think we need to pursue a lot of those big ideas, and that's what we were doing there. When we have proof that this just isn't working, then let's relax that a little bit and move on.
So I can remember when his first term, when Maloney was on council, saying, I want that whole area to be walkable. Of course, Dennis is from New York and knows that it's 117 degrees. Is there anything the city can really do? Because, yes, it'd be great to be able to be walkable that entire stretch of University, but I don't think in reality that can happen.
Well, I don't know. Mr. Yancey pointed out very clearly, I think he's exactly right. When the connection between Century Square and North Point Crossing interior didn't happen, that was a real death knell to a lot of that, what walkability you could have had, connectivity between Century Square. You've got a sidewalk on the street. You don't have an interior continuity, and that's unfortunate, and I don't know that we could have necessarily changed that. It just happened.
You went into executive session and talked about some things at Northgate, the parking lot property that you have out there. Where are we? And no decisions have been made. So what's our timeline there now?
Well, on December 12th, we will have a open public engagement at council meeting. During council meeting, it'll be an item on the agenda somewhere that will talk about the desires of the neighborhood, the community up there, the business owners, the property owners, and any other citizen that has an interest to help try to describe what their vision is for that area. When we entered into this RFP process, we knew that we would have to do a lot of design work in a development agreement after we selected a bidder. And we haven't selected a bidder yet, but we know about the direction based on the value that's being offered. We've got to make sure we're reflecting what the neighborhood needs and wants are and what the citizens of College Station have. Keep in mind, the appraisal value, and that's public, in the RFP was $10 million for that just 1 acre of that parking lot. And that's a lot of money sitting on the ground and not doing anything except earning parking capabilities. We have in the plan to replace those parking spaces. There absolutely will be the same number of parking spaces available to the public as there was before, but it's going to be a transition getting there. But lots of folks want the North Gate to be like it was in the 1980s, and there's nothing around it in the private sector that reflects that.
Have you heard anything from the university about this?
The university hasn't been involved on that, but we in the university and TxDOT are really talking about pedestrian safety along university and some grade-separated crossings. So that's going to be part of the larger picture. And frankly, if we can generate revenue out of this that will contribute to building a grade separation of an attractive and inviting way in that North Gate 1 area, then I think that's a real plus. That's a piece of the puzzle, because that's as important as anything. A lot of this is about public safety. How do we manage the crowds over there? How do we design a plaza behind the promenade in that area? And that's part of the requirements in the bid, is that they got to offer that and they got to come up with that. Well, part of our discussion with the people that have businesses there is, how does that interact with your business, and how do you want to see that develop? But as I say, there are some people in social media that just say, leave it alone, don't do anything. But I think given the value of what's there,
sure,
and our problems of managing public safety, waste management, utilities and other things in that area, I think we've got to proceed with some logical development on that. And we'll see how that turns out after the public discussion. And we're close to a real estate agreement. And if we decide to proceed with that, the next phase will be a long period of feasibility analysis when the individual property owners around it will be engaged directly, because this property abuts them. And that's got to work for everybody.
Once again, we know that the business folks over there have spoken, and I'm sure they'll speak again. Okay, that's enough about Northgate. What else is going on in the city that people need to know about?
Well, I just wanted to mention that the lights are going on in the park on Thanksgiving evening. There's over 1 million lights there, and I want to comment that Bryan Broadcasting provides music there on 97.3 on your FM dial. You can enjoy the music as you drive through or walk through. Remember, city offices are closed. Everybody probably knows that, but we're closed through the week starting tomorrow. But we will have a solid waste collection. The Thursday pickup will be done on Friday. The Friday pickup will be done on Saturday. It's pretty standard stuff. Last SEC tailgate is at 1207 building. If you haven't been in there lately, we put new sound baffling system in there, sound suppression. It's beautiful. It really works great. You don't get the same noisy feel
all the hard
as you did before.
surfaces.
Great acoustics in that building now. So really working out well for a lot of functions. There will be on December 5th, Thursday night at 5:30. The bond issue included Rock Prairie East from Town Lake to William Fitch. We're under construction on the other part right as we speak today, but we've already got the funding committed in the bond election for the rest of it. So there's going to be a public engagement discussion on that Rock Prairie Road East at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, December 5th at City Hall, Bush 4141. Last thing is, Christmas parade. Mr. Downs will be happy that he's following. I shouldn't say this. Santa will be happy he's following 75 entries in that parade. So we've got a big parade scheduled. It kicks off at 4 p.m. so that we get to the park about the time we will actually do the lighting ceremony and the Jingle Bell Fun Run at the park. And again, on Friday night, Friday and Saturday night, both parks are open, and there's a lot of activities scheduled. So the 6th, Friday night on the 6th, Candy 95.
That's us again.
Doing a live broadcast from 5 to 7 Friday evening out there. So lots of things going on. Holiday season's with us.
Yep.
I wish everybody out there a very happy and thoughtful Thanksgiving. That's what the season's about. And from there, we still have business to do in December, and then we'll have the rest of the holiday season.
Sounds good. Thanks for the time this morning.
Thank you.
Yep. Visit with the mayors on Wednesdays.